Hey everybody, I'm Rebecca Harlow alongside my running mate Cam Smith. We are here for another edition of Knicks in 6. How you doing, Cam?
I'm good, Rebecca. I'm still feeling the vibes from the Knicks. Of course, you know, the streak ended, but at the same time, one of the best streaks in the NBA this season. The Knicks are hooping.
Let's dive in. I think that the Knicks have one of the best defenses in the league because Tom Thibodeau is one of the most brilliant basketball minds of all time. He's been doing this for 40 years. He's a winner wherever he goes. He has a tough defense wherever he goes. And my favorite example of what he's been able to accomplish defensively, let's go back to the 2008 Celtics when they won the title. Well, what happened in 2007? First of all, there was a huge trade for Kevin Garnett. So heading into that season, there were so many new pieces. The hire that Doc Rivers also made, Tom Thibodeau as his associate head coach to run the defense. Guess what? They come up with the Defensive Player of the Year and an NBA title. So I would say that that's Thibodeau doing some great things defensively.
Oh, no doubt at all, Rebecca, because you got to start with that man, Tom Thibodeau. He starts at the top because he changed the entire culture of this team. The Knicks are one of the best when it comes to points allowed. They're one of the best in opponents' field goal percentage, and they're a top 5 team in rebounds per game. So all of that means that they're shutting you down in some instances on the defensive end. You're not getting multiple opportunities at the rim to try and score points. It's basically a one and done on that end of the floor. And then they're running with Julius and RJ on the fast break to get buckets at the rim.
Well, and I love that you're mentioning the rim because rim protection is another reason why this is one of the teams with the best defenses in the league. Think about it. Mitchell Robinson goes down. Knicks fans are losing their minds. They think the season's going to fall apart at that point. And guess what? Not long after, they rip off a 9-game win streak. And you have to credit Taj Gibson, his veteran leadership, as you mentioned, but then also Nerlens Noel. In that 9-game stretch, 24 blocks at the rim. So there really hasn't been any letdown. And one of my favorite comments about Noel recently was from Derrick Rose, who said, he is an athletic freak of nature for how skinny he is, yet how big he plays at the rim. And Noel just kind of laughed that off and said, whatever, guys have had 20, 30 pounds on me my whole entire life since high school. Guess what? I'm faster, I'm quicker, I'm smarter, I'm better, and I can handle it.
Yeah, definitely. And Noel has that skinny strength about him, right? I mean, even though he doesn't look like he's super Aki and Brolic, but still he gets it done in the paint at the rim. And that's part of their defensive principles. And so that's my reason there too, because they are physical on the ball with the big guards and Elfrid Payton, Derrick Rose, of course, RJ Barrett, who never backs down from a challenge. He's guarded some of the best players in the NBA and has held his own from that standpoint. So you get physical on-ball pressure because they know on the backside, to your point, Rebecca, they have Nerlens Noel erasing everything at the rim. And they also have Julius and Obi on the weak side getting some blocks there. So you bring those defensive principles along with some consistency. It's a big reason why the Knicks went on a 9-game winning streak and they're holding strong as one of the top teams in the East.
Absolutely. And to those principles, Cam, I think one of the greatest ways that we're seeing that pay off is the fact that these Knicks are always in the right place at the right time. So the defense for them has become so automatic. And another reason that I want to throw in there is because Reggie Bullock is the unsung hero of this team. Those aren't my words. Those are Thibodeau's words about Bullock, because he's a guy who steps in. He takes the toughest defensive assignment every single night. He brings so much versatility defensively because he can defend guys who are faster. He can defend guys who are bigger. He can defend guys in any position. And the fact that he's been able to do that so effectively has taken so much pressure off of guys like RJ and off of guys like Julius, because he can take on that assignment. And then obviously on the other end of the floor, the added bonus is now the 3-point shooting. So we've got one of the best 3-and-D guys in the game, but having Reggie in that spot has really made the defense work in so many different ways.
Yeah, and Reggie is a part of that veteran group that has allowed the Knicks to return back to relevance, really, in the East and in the NBA, because we know the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. And they're not just good this season, they're great. They're playing some phenomenal basketball in the regular season. But you mentioned Reggie Bullock. How about this, Rebecca? Let's throw in the names of Taj Gibson, Elfrid Payton, Derrick Rose, Julius Randle. All of those guys, of course, Alec Burks, you can't forget about him as well, but all of those guys are a part of a veteran group that understands what it takes to get wins in the NBA. And if you have a veteran group like that, they'll be able to string along and help the young guys in IQ, Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett. So that helps them in a number of ways. And I have to mention this quote from Stan Van Gundy, who said this about the Knicks this season. He said that they have a phenomenal veteran group and they're helping the young guys come along, and they're extremely competitive. And what's the NBA? Competitiveness. That's what it is. If you don't compete, you're going to lose. But the Knicks have the right pieces in place with those vets, along with the defensive principles. And of course, the man, the orchestrator, the magician that's making it all work is Tom Thibodeau.
It's been so much fun to watch. They are so unselfish. They absolutely have one of the best defensive teams in the league. And now with just a handful of games left, we'll see how that pays off with the tough road trip coming up.